Good morning, you guys. I'm gonna be bringing you a review of The Shy, season 5, episode 7. Basically, we're to the point where we are revisiting Jake and Gemma's dilemma, as I say. Basically, we're to the point where Jake is finally gotten up the nerve to speak to his brother about what happened, as far as him getting Gemma pregnant. Discussion that they had basically started off where he basically was talking to his brother, and he was asking his brother whether or not his mom was going to be returning back. The brother lets him know that no, the mom would not be returning back, and basically he just blurts it out and lets his brother know that Gemma's pregnant. The brother lets him know that he is, you know, as he would anybody would be, that he's actually a little disappointed. He says that, how's that going to make his image look? Jake basically tells his brother that, it is what it is, and he feels like his brother is not concerned about him like he's pretending to be. He's concerned about his image as far as being a politician. They had a discussion, they had words, and the brother actually storms out. Next, we're to the point where it starts off, which is really, really cute. My best part, I like the fact that Tiff actually walked in on Emmett and Keisha. She's to the point where her excuse was that she had a key, and she told him that she was coming to get their son early. Me personally, I think she just busted in because she knew that they was together and she wanted to try to wreck something up or whatever they had going on. They were visibly in the middle of about to have sex, and you could see by the look on their face that Keisha was visibly scared, and Emma looked like he was about to blush, if I have to say it. But anyway, they to the point where they stopped doing what they was doing. Keisha tells him that she gonna let them talk. She runs upstairs. So basically, she tells him to go get her son. He goes and gets the son. The son is to the point he comes downstairs and goes away with Tiffany. Now we're to the point where we get a glimpse of Miss Gemma being the manager that she said that she would be to Maisha. They basically went over the beats, and she's giving Maisha a lot of good pointers. She basically tells Maisha that she should work on her stage presence. That the actual rap that she actually wrote was really, really dope. It actually was. They were to the point where she actually rehearsed with her, and they to the point where also Maisha was doing her first set where she actually did a showcase, and she really, really did good. She performed this actual song, and everybody was to the point they were actually jamming to it and they actually liked it. I personally like the fact that Maisha is coming into her own. She let Gemma know that she made a decision that she's not gonna go to college. She said that hers her mom's dream. When they actually were in there rehearsing, Gemma saw that some of her mail. She asked her what it was. She told us that the college was actually invited her to come on and actually tour the college. Me personally, I think it's really, really dope that she actually decided that she wanted to pursue her dreams. I think it's nothing more better than doing that. Jim was to the point where she's decided that she is going to keep the baby. So Jake is to the point where he had to tell his brother, and he's already did that. At this particular set, Bakari is coming in with Papa. He was invited by Gemma. He bring Papa. You know how he is. He bring a plus one. So I guess the more the merrier until it goes left. Actually, Bakari gets to the point where he actually had a issue with the doorman at the door. They had words, so it's to the point where the doorman, I guess, decided he wanted to come back on the floor and say something to Bakari. And Bakari is a hothead, so it don't take much for him to say nothing. They get to tussling in the background while the show is going on, and Bakari pulls out his weapon. He actually shoots at the security guard, and in the midst of everything, everybody's running, and we see that Gemma actually falls to the ground. And when she does, I gasp because I'm thinking I don't know what it's gonna be. And we finally find out that she actually does seem visibly hurt. So everybody rushed to her aid, and she tells them to turn her over. And that's what Maisha does. She turns Gemma over, and she's visibly crying. And next thing you know, they cue the actual ambulance. So she gets to the hospital. Everybody's in tow, including Jake. Somebody got word to Jake, so he comes. The dad is the last to come in. He's very irate. He's telling everybody to get off the phone. He needs to see his daughter. I finally get back there. The daughter is laying in the hospital on bed. They had a discussion, and she basically told her dad that she lost the baby, and she begins to sob uncontrollably. Next thing you know, here comes Jake. He actually comes in and he actually consoles her. Next thing you know, you see them. They actually are going home, and she has a conversation with her dad, and he tells her to get some sleep, and he kisses her. She asks him will he stay. So he to the point they had a really really great daughter and dad moment, and he basically holds his daughter until she falls asleep, and then he goes to his desk and he watches something on his laptop, and he's looking at his actual picture of her, and he realizes that he really has lost his grandbaby. I think it really hit him, and he just sobs really, really uncontrollably, and it really, really made me cry. So it's one of those things where he's having a moment. If you're not familiar with the last review I did, he really was to the point he really wanted his daughter to actually explore her options. He even said at the beginning of this actual episode that he wanted her to possibly think about open adoption. She told him no. So now it's one of those things where she did miscarry, and also to the point where mm, we see that Jake and his brother are to the point they're at odds. But what really the good part of this particular thing that I like was the fact that Rashad actually got the chance to meet his girlfriend's actual family. She basically gives him a cut and dry approach about how she wants him to meet the parents. She basically does not want him to disclose that he was in prison. She offers to buy him a suit, and he tells her that he is to the point that he was not raised to be a kept man. She was like, "No, it's nothing like that. I'm just doing it as a gesture to make my man look good." So they actually do go out and do some suit shopping. When they do the suit shopping, Rashad looks really good in what she picked out for him. So it's to the point where they rehearsed and went over what he was supposed to say. He finally gets there, and Rashad he's amazed at how beautiful the house is. The dad comes out, and the dad has visibly remarried, so that is her step mom, and he's to the point where he sits down. He's greeted by her sister, and it looks like there's another family member there as well, but they never disclosed who that person was. So basically, the dad wanted him to have a drink, so they sit down. He drinks his scotch, as they say, neat. The dad drinks his neat as well. Everybody's doing their thing. They're talking, they're mingling. So the question comes up: what Rashad does for a living? Basically, Rashad lets them know that he works for Rock, and they're asking him, "Is he an entrepreneur?" He says something like that. Uh, his date is visibly nervous because she doesn't want to come out that he actually was in prison prior, because she feels like her dad is going to basically tear him apart about that, and they're going to be judgmental. So he gets to talking. Next thing you know, they kept asking him what he does and what he used to do. He told them he used to be a cook in the kitchen, and he blurts it out that he actually was in prison. And everybody stopped. It got real, real quiet. The actual sister basically tells her sister outright. She said, "Dad did not work and do all this stuff in order to you to be with a jailbird." And he basically blurts it out, and he tells her, he said, "I don't care about you trying to label me as somebody who I'm not. It's not a matter of what I did, it's a matter of who I am now." And he said, "Matter of fact, it's a lot of people now that actually are trying to survive just like I was. I'm not gonna let you judge me, and most important, I really don't care what y'all think. I feel like I love this lady, and most importantly, I know I'm gonna be all right with her by my side." So everybody's looking at everybody, and the only person looked like they was in agreement was the actual stepmom, because you could tell by her facial expression that she was really, really impressed by what he was saying, but she never said nothing verbally. So the dad finally speaks, and he says, "Well done, son," which I was very, very honest. Didn't think that was going to happen. I was like, wow, I think he was going to, basically tell his daughter not to be with him. And after everything's all said and done, basically the dad was to the point where he really called him son. I thought that was really, really a great moment. They both smiled. Rashad had a big old Kool-Aid smile on his face. So it cues to the next scene. Basically, he's sitting at the table with his brother, and they're basically discussing what went on or whatever. And he's calling him Lover Boy, which he is dating Fatima. If you're not familiar with Fatima, she's actually the actual writer that actually was on the episode, what is this? Episode 4. and she basically comes in and she's basically asking him a bunch of questions. She wants to know what his intentions are if he is elected. Basically to the point they decide they were on the last episode, decide they want to go further, actually had sex. So he shows up unexpectedly at her place, and she basically greets him at the door, meaning outside. She doesn't allow him to come in, and he basically tells him that this is not a good time. He was like, "Do you have company?" She was like, "Yeah." So basically, you can tell that he actually is visibly mad, and he basically storms away. And Fatima basically tells him that they he never said he wanted to be exclusive, meaning that at the end of the day, when she met him, he basically told her that he basically had someone, which is we actually know that's not actually his actual girlfriend. It's actually somebody that Duda actually portrayed to be his lady friend in order to get him a following on the social media, and most importantly, made him look good for his image. So he's to the point now he's speaking to Rashad, and he basically Rashad asking $1 million question. Are you willing to in other words, acknowledge her? Because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to keep her. And he was like, he don't know. So they cue the next scene with to the point where Jake storms home and he's crying inconsolably. So his brother walks up to him, Rashad, and actually hugs him. And next thing you know, he sees Bakari. Bakari's laying on the sofa, so he goes over there. He starts beating on Bakari, and they try to pull him off of Bakari, and they know exactly what went on. He said, "Get this elf nigga out of here." Next thing you know, they told him he had to leave. Rashad looked at him kind of funny, like he was saying, "Yeah, you got to leave. I brought you here, and you got to leave." Bakari gets his stuff. He storms out. He finally gets to a house and starts knocking on the door. And I'm like, where could he possibly be going? Because he said he had nowhere to go. He ends up at Papa's doorstep. He asks Papa, can he stay? Papa lets him in. Now it's to the point where I guess Bakari will be sleeping on their actual sofa. I think it was really, really sad the way it ended. The fact that Bakari could not control his ways and be, civil at least for a concert, and as a result, Gemma lost her baby. I thought that was really, really sad. I'm waiting to anxious to see the next episode to see what this actually plays out as far as Gemma is concerned and how it fits the dynamic of the relationship as far as Jake is concerned. Jake really, really cries. You could tell that visibly that it really, really hurt him. He really, really wanted that baby because before that, he had a scene with his brother where they actually went to arguing about it. He told him, he said, "You can't just be sitting right here." He was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because you gotta have a plan." He's like, "What you want me to do? Drop out of school?" He said, "I can go full time and actually work at Smokies." He was like, "Nah, that ain't what I mean. You just need to be acknowledged and you need to take care of your baby." And basically, they had an argument about that, which I thought was really, really sentimental. Because at the end of the day, you could tell the brother was visibly hurt. But in Jake's mind, he felt like his brother just really was worried about his image. I don't really think that his brother was worried about his image. He was worried about his brother being a single dad and taking on that type of responsibility. But they also had a moment where they really, you could tell they really missed their mom, and they had to come to the conclusion and realize that the mama ain't coming back. I think it's one of those things where they kind of writing the mama out of the actual show. That's just my opinion. But this particular episode was really, really a heartfelt type of show. And I hated the fact that Gemma lost her baby. I kind of figured that's probably what would happen, but I was hoping it would not happen because I kind of wanted to see how they would actually play out as far as him and Gemma being parents. Now the dad looked like he took it the worst because he, like I told you, he went back to his actual desk after he got through consoling Gemma. He actually broke down and cried. You can tell he's really, really close to his daughter. He really, really wants the best for her. And I think the reason why he really was crying, he realized that, some of the stuff he was trying to pressure her to do, now she don't have a baby. Because like I told y'all, he told her to consider open adoption. His real thing for his daughter, he wanted her to go to college. So I'm really, really curious to see what Gemma does, whether or not she decides to go on to college and, make something out of herself. But I was really, really, feeling that showcase that she put together for Maisha. Maisha hair was on point, and what she had on was really, really cute. A lot of people was talking about what actually Gemma had on. It actually was cute what she had on. But I'm trying to see where they're gonna go with this storyline as far as Gemma being the actual quote unquote manager. So I was hoping personally that Maisha was gonna go to actual college, but that's not what the route she wanted to take. But Papa was, like I told y'all, he was there to actually cheer her on. But I hate he brought Bakari. Because you never would have brought Bakari, that would have never happened, and she would have never lost her baby. But yeah, this episode was giving what it needs to give. I am enjoying this actual season of The Shy. I'm really, really hoping that they pick up another season, season six, because we only have three more episodes left. And like I told you guys, I will be continuing bringing you guys the reviews. I hope you guys are enjoying the review. I enjoy bringing you guys the reviews of these particular shows because I really, really love watching The Shy, but The Pink is my favorite. And I said The Pink. It's not The Pink. It's P Valley. My bad. But yeah, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. Those who are actually commenting and liking the video, I appreciate you guys as well. Also, you guys, I want you guys to realize in this particular episode, also, like I told you, which to the point that Emmett, and also here's the cliffhanger I wanted to make sure that I get this at the end. Keisha is having problems as far as being in her dorm. She's to the point it's a lot of noise in there, and then the baby is visibly can't sleep. So she decides that she wants to speak to her counselor. So the counselor tells her that she might want to consider getting her a space off of campus. She tells the counselor that no option of her going back home is really not a good option because somebody's there that has her room that needs it more than her. So she goes over to visit Emmett and they have a discussion. That particular time they can't really talk. She tells you she needs to speak to him later because she can see that he actually is having a conversation with Keisha. Not Keisha, I'm sorry, with Tiff. They're speaking about their son, and I guess they're to the point where they're trying to figure out a schedule as far as him helping with the son, and she does as well. Just like he was telling her, he has a lot going on, considering that he is the owner of the actual business now. He's not just an employee like he used to be. He tells her that he also is doing what he got to do, and he had to. His son had to fall by the wayside because he's trying to build a legacy to leave for his children. He wanted them to be able to have something that he can pass down to them. And Tiff looks at him, with stars in her eyes. She said, "Why you didn't never tell me this?" He said, "You never gave me a chance." I thought it was a really, really great moment that they had because it was to the point where, him and Tiff, they really, really going through, and she's really trying to adjust to the fact that he actually is with Keisha. And for her busting in and realizing that they actually was having sex, it was a lot. It's a lot to unpack. You could tell that Tiff, I think in my mind, Tiff probably feeling like she should have never left and let him get away. But Keisha's to the point where she tells Emmett that, finally when they got a chance to speak after Tiff left, she tells him that she really, really needs to try to find somewhere to go. And she's thinking about she got to go back home and stay with her mom. He told her no, he don't know about that. And so she basically comes out and asks him, she said, "What do you think about me moving in here?" And I was thinking to myself, I said, wow, I don't know what he's gonna say. And he shocks me. He basically tells her that he thinks it's a good idea. He mainly, like he said, it would be to help both of them because he really, really needs help with his son. So he feels like it would be a great gesture as far as her living there because really, really he done trusting anybody else around his kids and mostly I think the reason why he was down with it because he really, really is feeling Tiff, not Tiff, Keisha. He really feeling Keisha, and he wants to be a couple with her. So they embrace and they kiss, and it is what it is. I'm really, really excited to see what this thing goes between Emmett and Keisha. Because if you're familiar with watching season one, then you know that they actually started out dating. So it's not one of those things where she just popped up out of the blue. But the way the storyline is going, they're making it seem like she really is to the point where her and Tiff is actually gonna have beef because Tiff, basically, like I told y'all on the last review, is basically trying to beat us over the head with the fact that their actual marriage is not finalized. Hopefully, he can go ahead and get that finalized, and he can make it happen and do what he needs to do as far as being with Keisha. I think Keisha's good for Emmett because at the end of the day, Emmett is to the point where he's changed. You can visibly see that he's more of a family man now. He's doing what he got to do and he's really feeling Keisha. And he went to the point he really wanted to tell Tiffany because in his mind he feel like she betrayed him by moving in with this new guy. But Keisha was the one that told him, yeah, we got to be real with this and we got to tell him. So when she comes in and actually comes into the house, you can look and see in Keisha's, I mean, not Keisha, in Tiffany's eyes that she was really, really mad. I think it's more the thing where she more was hurt. She wasn't expecting him to move on as fast, but it is what it is. Like he said, she moved on. Her and Rob was supposed to be a thing, so I guess she was, waiting, hoping he'd be waiting in the wings after her and Rob, did what they do or however. But we're gonna see what goes on with Miss Rob and Mr. Rob and Mrs. Tiffany. But I hope they can co-parent, just like the Ash teacher told them they need to try to work on doing things for his son, because the teacher basically tells them at the parent-teacher conference that the child has a learning disability. So that's why they basically try to get in and do an intervention on him. And Keisha says she has no problem helping, long as Tip is fine. But Emmett assures her that Tip is gonna be straight. I personally don't think that Tip will really have too much to say when it comes to her helping with the son. Because at the end of the day, she really busy and so is he. So that ain't nothing wrong with an extra helping hand. But in the back of her mind, she gonna be giving her the side eye. But yeah, you guys, this particular episode was giving. I did not to the point want to stop watching because I looked up. I was already at the 5 hour, 5 minute mark. I was like, man, it's about over with. But I have basically gave y'all guys a good overview of this actual episode. Like I told you guys, this Bakari is messing up like he always do. But I don't know what's the thing the writers are trying to do as far as him and Papa hanging out together. I thought it was kind of weird, so I don't know. But I just hate that for Gemma that she actually lost the baby that way. But in a way, I kind of think it was for the best. Don't judge me on that. I think it was for the best because I'm more a type person. I believe in divine intervention. I don't think her and Jake was ready to be parents. They might have wanted to be parents, but they weren't really ready to be parents. But we'll see how he consoles Gemma and how their relationship evolves as we go on. As I told you, Bakari is out. She's gonna test Michael and see whether he really, really wants to be with her. And I think the fact that she had somebody over there, I guess she was trying to let him see that, hey, since you got somebody, I can have somebody. Now, Darnisha, the young lady I was speaking of, the one that actually is supposed to pretend like she's actually dating the politician, she actually blurted out something that really had me giving her the side eye. She was like, you can't be really mad at your brother about having a baby, and most importantly, getting Gemma pregnant, because she said, I am a product of teen pregnancy. He was like, why you didn't tell me? She said, you didn't ask. So she was like, I really wish it would have been me that had been pregnant. He said, oh, so you want to make this thing some real? She was looking at him like she was saying, duh. I think she really starting to have feelings for him. And I don't know how that thing gonna go, and if she's gonna spin the narrative or whatever. But I personally think, because I'm in this group that's on Facebook, we actually comment. Somebody put out a theory that they think that she eventually is gonna drop the bomb, that she actually is Rosalind's side piece, because she actually was seen in the bed with Rosalind. And I saw that and I was like, okay, that's the reason why they bring her in. But I hope they be to the point where they hurry up and tell him what it is. But I appreciate and most important love the fact that what they've done with Rashad's character. He basically has become the modern day Renaissance man. He has really cleaned his image up, and I really heal for it. I think this lady that he's dating now is really good for him. You can tell that she's doing nothing but positive things for him, and she's trying to motivate him, and I really love that. I'm hoping to see that their character actually stays together, and hopefully they will build a relationship. Because if you know Rashad, he has been a resident playboy, and he's to the point he never took anything serious. So the fact that he actually is mentoring boys at Rock, so that's a good thing. But I think it kind of bruised his ego to know that Bakari went back to being what he was, and that's a typical bad guy. His brother told him he was against the dude coming in, but Rashad, he turned over a new leaf. He was trying to help him. But we're gonna see what Mr. Papa does as far as being a bonding with Bakari. I think it's one of those things where I'm hoping that the writers will bring him and Maisha back together. I like their little love story. It is what it is. But this episode, like I told you guys, was great. I liked it. Liked the different scenes that they had in there as far as like My favorite one was actually when he came and he saw that Fatima was actually there with somebody else. And the reason why I say it like that is because he got to be to the point he need to take a side. If he want, does he want the woman or he don't? Because it seems like just like she said, he want to keep her secret. Now Rashad told him, it is what it is, or you wouldn't, or do you want to keep her secret or you don't? I think he kind of on the fence. He really don't know where to go with it. I think right now his ego is bruised, but hopefully he'll do the right thing for him. And I think more like he probably gonna try to make up with her and actually try to claim her in public. Because at the end of the day, he don't want to lose her. I think he's pretty much over Imani, so he's pretty much ready to be in another relationship. But he got to understand, if you to the point where you're acting as though you have somebody, and that person don't know for sure that that's an act, and that's it is what it is. So I'm hoping that if he does form a relationship with Fatima, that Fatima will not out him if he's not ready to tell people, because she's giving me the vibes that that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna actually out him over social media. So I'm hoping if he decide he want to be with Fatima, that he tread lightly, that he don't just get on there and pretend like he not with her, because she is really really adamant about not being silenced. Like she told him in the beginning, she said if you're to the point where you don't tell your actual the public that you actually in love with a trans people, then it erases us. When she said that, that really gave me the side on her as far as her initiative, and most importantly, why she tried to get with him. I personally think she getting with him to try to destroy his image. I hope that's not true. I hope that's just something that the writers are just making in other words, think that that's the way it's gonna go. But me personally, I think that Rashad and that lady gonna actually get closer, and I think it's gonna be to the point where they end up probably getting married. But I think Gemma and Jake are actually gonna their relationship gonna be tested, and it's really really gonna take a lot for them to stay together, considering that they did have the miscarriage with the baby. Now I think it's one of those things where Jake is really really upset about the fact that his mom left. So I think he really wanted that baby to prove to everybody he actually could do something right, and most important that he could be a better parent than his mom was. Because he actually, when he had a conversation with his mom on the last episode, she basically was the one that pushed him to go ahead and tell his brother. And like I said in the beginning, it did go left at first, but the brother basically had to calm down and realize that it is what it is. It didn't want nothing where you could change it, because he asked her him the $1 million question too: is she going to keep it? So I hate it had to end that way. She actually had a miscarriage. So we'll see what episode 8 is giving us, and I will give you guys another review on that, and I will keep you guys posted. I appreciate you guys for rocking with the channel. Those who actually subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you. Those who are new here, I hope you guys will leave me a comment. Most importantly, thumbs up the video. I see you guys on the next one. Bye.